Stop running down the meh and mundane hallways of life and tap into the magical. My name is Michelle Shutter. I am a life and leadership coach for women and host of the Life Coaching Classroom podcast. I like to welcome you to Life Coaching Classroom, where we walk with you in the hallways of life so you can align to the beautiful expansiveness of your true self through reconnection, reinvention, and rejuvenation. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to class. Welcome back to the Life Coaching Classroom podcast. My name is Michelle Shutter. I am a life and leadership coach for women. And in this episode, episode 65, we are going to talk about the ultimate breakup. If you are looking to do something different in 2023, doesn't matter how big or how small, you're going to have to go through the breakup. And I can't wait to share that with you in this episode. But first things first, if you are new to this podcast or watching it, I want to welcome you. If you are a return listener or viewer, again, welcome. It is just amazing to see your commitment and you're wanting to invest in yourself. Because at the Life Coaching Classroom, we support women in really reconnecting to their beautifully aligned expansiveness of their true self. Because let's face it, over time, we become disconnected from our true self, from the essence of who we are. And that is for a variety of reasons that happens. But we can bring that back because in the Life Coaching Classroom, we focus on 6 different subject areas: heart, healing, health, harmony, humanity, and happiness, in no particular order, and they all overlap. It is through this study that we are able to reinvent ourselves and really bring that reconnection back to who we are and really live life in a whole different way. Because it is through this process that really allows women to just reignite that fire within, regardless of whatever age we are. So again, welcome to the Life Coaching Classroom. So episode 65 is all about the ultimate breakup. And 2023 is about change. It's about leap of faith. It is about disrupting all the old, all the patterns and conditioning that really doesn't serve us. Think of it almost as like the shedding of an old skin. It's the deepening the trust that we have within us. And it's really to go beyond what we even thought was possible. Change is going to look different for absolutely every single person. And change is going to be involved with relationships. And I say that in terms of everything is a relationship. You have a relationship with absolutely everything. It isn't just people. So for some people, change in 2023 is going to be their relationship with money, their financial status. For some people, it is going to be relationship changes with people or family or coworkers or friends or a spouse, like whatever that is. For some people, it's going to be a relationship with food. There's going to be a different way of looking at food, a different way of interacting, a different way of how we nourish our body. For some people, there's going to be a different relationship with work and their career and their profession and their calling. So 2023 is going to be a year of change, but it's going to be different for absolutely everyone based on how they want to up-level their relationship with whatever they want to be up-leveled. However, the one thing that is going to remain consistent for everyone is to, if you want that change, if you want that desire, you're going to have to go through the ultimate breakup. And you might think like, what on earth is the ultimate breakup, right? Well, you are going to have to break up with your old self. Because if you want something different in terms of your relationship with money or your relationship with people or your relationship with food or work or whatever it is for you, you have to break up with the old self, because the old self is going to want to bring in your old thought patterns, the different thought patterns you have about change. It's going to want to bring in indecisiveness, fear, worry, self-doubt. And when we have all of that, those thoughts ruminating in our minds, and then the feelings that are attached to it that are ruminating in our bodies, we go into this place where we feel stuck. So again, to have change, we have to start to become aware of those old thought patterns, of those when does the indecision start to creep in? When does the fear creep in? When does the worry, the self-doubt, the limiting beliefs? When does all that happen? When is it happening? Can you catch yourself doing that? And get ahead of it so that we don't get into a place of feeling stuck. Because whatever you are feeling, it doesn't matter. It doesn't make you better or worse than the next person. There isn't anything wrong with you. However, we have to realize that we're in our current situation because of our thoughts, because of our feelings, because of our choices, because of our behaviors. We can't push that away. We have to accept that we are where we are because of that old self, because we try to bring things in the old self into the new. We try to start something new using old beliefs, using old patterns. And it didn't work for us, but yet we continue to repeat that pattern over and over and over again. And we could go down the rabbit hole of, blaming others or shaming somebody else. But again, we do that. And if that's a choice you make, we do that because it feels familiar. We do that because that is the old self wanting to rear its ugly head, wanting to be front and center, wanting to be, wanting to keep you in that safe mode. Because that old self sees whatever you're doing as a threat, right? Your mind sees it as a threat. And so it wants to do everything it can to keep you safe. However, if you keep on perpetuating this, where does it lead you? Where does it take you? Where does it keep you? So remember, this contrast exists, the duality exists for a reason. We have right now what we're seeing. We want this change, but we're seeing what we don't want. And if we didn't have what we didn't want, how would we have clarity on what we do want? And so it's really important that we set that intention on the desire of what we do want. And when we're looking at that, what is exactly in our control? How do we want to move through that change? Do we want to do it with that old self and those old feelings and those old thoughts and those old beliefs and the limiting beliefs and the feelings? Or do we want to make a conscious effort to change things up and really look at our thoughts and our feelings and our actions so that we can move into a new you, a reinvented you, a you that is willing and ready to take on the change of 2023. So if that is the case where you're like, you know what? I am going to start observing my thoughts a little bit more. I am going to just take full responsibility and accept. I'm going to accept like this is where I am based on that old self. And now I know that it's my responsibility to do what I need to do to break up with that old self so that I can step into a higher level, into that change, into that desire without going through that whole stuck feeling. Like these are really important concepts to nail down, especially in a year of change. So if you're really seeking change in 2023, and now that you perhaps have some awareness and you're good with where you're at and you know that it's your responsibility to change and know that you can't control it all, but you're going to focus on what you can control, you have to ask yourself, what is an inspired step that I could take towards what I really want? And the breakup again is so very important because when you're getting to a place of taking steps, it isn't motivation that's going to drive you because motivation is really that negative stuff that's just pushing you forward. Like you should do this. You should. You're going to hear a lot of shoulds behind motivation. However, the inspiration works at a different level because it is aligned with our true desire. So instead of just taking any kind of step, what is an inspired step that would move you closer to the change, to the desire you are seeking? Now, the challenge also comes up because we take a few inspired steps, and because we haven't completely broken up with the old self, we don't sustain those inspired actions. And when we don't sustain the inspired actions, we begin to second guess ourselves and think, gosh, is this change, is this desire really for us? But yet it leads us back to that beginning of, did I catch my thoughts? Did I catch my feelings around that? And again, this is a work in progress. This isn't something that just happens overnight. It is a muscle that has to be built over time because the ultimate goal is for us to become the new self, to reinvent ourselves into something new, into something fresh, into something that is aligned with our desires that we are seeking in 2023. And to do that, it requires the ultimate breakup. Now, with any kind of breakup, it isn't always easy, right? There's a lot of emotion that can come through there. Breaking up with the old self is challenging. It's going to take effort. It's going to take work. It can be scary. Those are all legit. Those are all things that people experience. But you have to make the decision, is this breakup going to honor me? When is the last time you truly honored yourself? Because the breakup is about honoring you. It is about honoring your true self. It isn't easy. If it was easy, everybody would do it. If it was easy, people would read one book and be done, and life would be grand. But we've had a lot of conditioning. We've had a lot of past experiences and situations that layer over our true self. And so when we want to honor our true self, when we want to honor you, yourself, that old self wants to come in and be like, no way. You're not going down that path. That's way too scary. And my job, because the old self works very closely with your brain, my job is to keep you safe. And I perceive a threat here. So there's no way I'm going to allow you to go down that road because it could be scary. You might not be safe. And it's all a blatant lie. You just have to do the work around it. So what does that look like? Well, if you want to explore that a little bit more, I want to extend an invitation to you to our January unit study class, which is called Honoring You. It is happening on January 25th at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're just doing a one night for this unit study class because of my schedule. So again, it is January 25th, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. You can register, save your seat at lifecoachingclassroom.com/unit. And that registration will also give you access to the recording. So if you want to attend live, great. Love to have you. If you want access to the recording, you have to register as well. You can't not register and get the recording because I don't have any way to send it to you. The last thing I want to leave with you is your decision to move forward with the ultimate breakup. It is your decision. However, if you're here listening to this podcast, just know that your true self is calling you to do so. Your true self is nudging you. Unfortunately, that old self right now is talking a little bit louder. It's that vicious voice, the old self, the vicious voice is on your shoulder, the volume's cranked up, and it's talking just a little bit louder than what you're used to. It's muffling everything else. Just know that you're in the right place at the right time. Hear the whispers, hear the nudges, feel them, and know that you are being called to expand yourself and realign yourself with the truest essence of who you are. And what better way to do that than to be honoring you, honor yourself. So again, register for our January unit study class called Honoring You, which is happening January 25th at 7:30 Central Standard Time. And you can do that by registering at lifecoachingclassroom.com/unit. What landed with you in this episode? Shoot me a message, tag me on social media, take a screenshot of the podcast, tag me, let me know what landed for you. Because I guarantee you, all of this is so very important in the ultimate breakup. Go ahead and register for Honoring You, and I will see you in class. Have you joined our monthly unit study? If not, you better head on over and reserve your seat at lifecoachingclassroom.com/unit. The unit study gives you an opportunity to experience life coaching at no charge. Again, register and get all the details at lifecoachingclassroom.com/unit. I do have a favor. Could you take a moment to share this podcast and Life Coaching Classroom with your besties? Perhaps they too are tired of running down the meh and mundane hallways of life. Let's give them a little spark in their day. Finally, I'd be so grateful if you take a minute to review the podcast. The reviews definitely help to spread the podcast to more women. Thank you. I so appreciate you, and I will see you in class.